Mr. Carl White. It's so good to see you.
Carl's here.
There's trouble. There's trouble.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind, where we bring you professionals who share insight into the latest trends, tips, industry, technology, and services to help you create more videos to use in your mortgage business. Okay, well, let's do a formal introduction here. We want to welcome you to another episode of Mortgage Video Mastermind. My name is Ginger Bell. And we are so excited to see our traveling friends. Not back, was here for a while. So we've got Frank Garay, Mr. Carl White. He's back again. It's so good to see you. I know you've been traveling a lot, so it's nice to have you back. And we have a very special guest today, Chey. And I know you just always introduce yourself as Chey. I think everyone just knows you as Chey. So I'm going to give you a little. Pardon me?
Like share.
Yes, it's just Chey. So a little bit of background on Chey. So Chey is the marketing director for Kelly Zitlow, and Kelly is a huge mortgage video influencer. Has been doing video since 2014. You said, Chey?
Yeah.
And correct. Kelly's going to be a guest on in September, so we're going to get to hear what she's doing. But Chey and I have done a couple of calls just talking about marketing and strategy and things like that. And I love picking her brain because she is just one of those great ideas, thinks outside the box. And so I asked her if she would be willing to share some of the behind the curtains that happens. And she said yes. So we're happy to have you on. I'm going to actually start off with a little bit of asking you your background because you came from outside the mortgage industry, right?
I did.
So tell me about your background and then how you got into the industry.
Well, I actually started in retail advertising. So I always think of retail advertising as my first love. It's such a great mix. You've got like billboards and radio and TV and print ads. And it's something that I really enjoyed. I did that for a very long time. And then I've also done some agency work. So that was amazing to go to the next level and manage an agency and have all kinds of clients, especially in the high tech. It was during the big high tech boom. So got to work with some big name technology companies. And I really enjoyed the mix of being able to work with so many different companies at once and different designers. And what led me to the mortgage industry was really my mom. She's my best friend. I love her. She's a mortgage underwriter. She has been for more than 30 years. She knows a lot of people in the industry, and she heard that Cheys was hiring a marketing director for their mortgage division. And so she insisted I applied. I really didn't want to be in mortgage. I was like, I don't think so. She's like, come on.
Nice.
So
Wait.
I did it. And
Whoever did, by the way, let's get real for a second,
It's on that list, life's list. Want to be in the mortgage industry.
Be in the mortgage industry. So that was quite a long time ago now. And then, the crash happened. There was that pesky little thing called a crash. And that's when I came to Kelly Zitlow, and I was really amazed when, big companies like Cheys and, pretty much everybody they were laying people off. They were getting rid of their marketing departments or severely reducing them, from like 30 people down to one person. Those kinds of things were going on. And here was Kelly. She was hiring a marketing person in the middle of the crash. And I just thought, like, that's the kind of person that I want to work for. That's the kind of vision, the person that understands when we need to lean into marketing. Mm-hmm. And she also, at that time, she had this crazy idea that she wanted to do video. Now, at this point, I had big fancy budgets, at the previous company, and I could hire videographers and film crews and all that kind of stuff, but I had never done video myself. And so I was like, and she had never done it, but she had this idea that she wanted to do it. And I was like, well, Kelly, I haven't done it. You haven't done it, but I think together we're pretty smart. I think that we could figure it out. And that's what we did. I pretty much learned everything I know about video shooting, editing, producing, leveraging, everything from YouTube. That's pretty much, that was our source.
It's a good source.
It's a great educator. It's actually, I think, Carl, you had shared a while back as far as the statistics, as far as education that happens. I know it's the number 2 as far as searching, but definitely probably one of the tops as far as educating, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to let everyone, because I know, Carl, you probably got 10 million questions going on. But I can tell you the videos that you did, and that's one of the things I always loved Kelly when she started doing the videos, because they were very educational. And of course, being an education specialist, for me, I'm always like, yes, there's so much to teach about mortgage. And she did that, and she did it in a way that was informative and very concise. And I think people struggle with that sometimes, as far as how do we take this big, complicated mortgage nebulous and break it down to where it's easier. So did she write like scripts? Did she have, Carl has his redneck teleprompter.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a very
little card, just as an FYI, it's a little cardboard like cutout. And then we have a bungee cord that goes around somebody's neck, and then it clips on there, and I just tape my bullet points on there. So when he or she is holding the camera, it looks like I'm looking at the camera, but I'm looking at my bullet points that's around their neck. So we call that.
I gotta say, that is brilliant.
We call that the redneck teleprompter.
I'm absolutely stealing that for sure.
I know.
I know it could be kind of pricey, but
yeah, those bungee cords are pricey.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And the cardboard's only good for about 3 months, and then it starts.
Got to replace it, so there's maintenance required. A lot of maintenance. Yeah, but it's a great idea.
Who's your avatar? Like when you're doing your videos, who's your avatar for yours?
The avatar?
Yeah, like who's the average prospect or client? Who are you going after?
Well, we do a couple different ones. We have 2 channels. So Kelly has kellyonoutube.com or mortgagehowdoi.com will take you to both channels. So she has a real estate audience that she's speaking specifically to realtors and educating them on the mortgage process. And then also we have a consumer, the mortgagehowdoi.com is consumer based. And that's really educating, homeowners, home buyers on the mortgage process. So
where do you get your content? Where do you get the ideas to do these?
So YouTube.
Yeah. Funny how
YouTube
that works.
is a great source for everything. YouTube. Yeah. And interestingly enough, ours wasn't quite to the level of yours with the scripts when we first started with the bungee cord and all that. But what we did is Kelly.
You weren't up to that level yet. Is that what you're saying?
Up to that level.
You can't rush these things. It takes time.
We hadn't invested in the bungee cord. Instead, what we did is we would write it like Kelly would write, the video name on the top and then like 3 bullet points. And then we would tape it to the tripod, like right below the camera. So it still looked like she was looking at the camera, but she had her little piece of paper with her 3 bullet points.
Yeah.
So that's
that's what Frank and Brian were doing that for years.
Forever.
Yeah.
It still goes on that way pretty much over there. Yeah. I know it does.
It does.
Yeah. It's actually a Word document on the laptop, and there's somebody by the camera scrolling up the Word document as it's being.
So you have advanced past.
It's gotten more sophisticated. It really has. Yeah.
How often do y'all send out videos? Is this like a once a week, or did you do them all at once and they're posted, or what does that look like?
So we post every week to both channels. So Kelly's brand channel, which is the real estate audience. And then we also post to the Mortgage How Do I every week. So a video a week. And then as I think, I'm not sure if Ginger mentioned that Kelly and I also do a group called Real Estate Video Influencer, which is specifically about video. It's similar to this group for the real estate community. And we also produce a video once a week for that channel as well. So we do that, but then we also do shorts. So we also push out at least 5 shorts a week, anywhere between 5 and 10 shorts every week.
But you just started doing that in June, right?
Yep.
So these are the shorts clips from the bigger videos you do that you're repurposing that and creating shorts, or are you sitting down and just doing shorts?
Both. So any of the videos that we shoot, the long form videos that we shoot, then we definitely chop those up into at least 2 or 3 shorts. But we may post them at different times. You know, we don't post them back to back. So we sort of put them in the mix. And then we also just do shorts off the cuff. For example, for the real estate video influencer, both Kelly and I will do shorts. We literally put it on a tripod. We don't write any bullet scripts. We just say go, and we get it done in 59 seconds. So we do it both ways, really.
So
That was
go ahead,
Good.
Carl.
On your shorts, so it's 59 seconds or less, and then
Yeah.
the non-shorts, like how long are those typically?
Well, I mean, it ranges. I mean, occasionally we have some videos that are short, you know, like 2-3 minutes, but especially on the Mortgage How Do I channel, we're always aiming for like about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes is what we're going for. The videos are really just however long it takes for her to get the message out. And we're trying to be pretty clear when we're talking to real estate agents, like what's just the information that they need to know. So those are usually maybe like 5 minutes. But for the consumer-based audience, we really want to go deep and really feel like they were part of the, you know, that they were really getting educated on, you know, FHA loans or whatever, you know, product that we're talking about or system process.
You know where I get a lot of our videos, I'll just go on like Facebook group pages and look to see, you know, what are they, you know, somebody will ask something. I think, man, that's a good question. And sometimes I don't know, you know, I think, well, I think I know the answer. And I'll scroll through some of the other answers and I go, well, dang, there's a better answer than I had. So I'll just I'll use that topic and some of the, you know, obviously we'll validate, you know, whatever they say is the answer. We'll make sure that's a real thing per se. But that's another great way of content. It's just like look to see what's happening in Facebook groups.
Yeah. And another thing that we like to do that's a great content hack is when you go to YouTube and you watch a video, perhaps on somebody who's your competitor and you check out their video, see what they're doing. That's obviously a source. But the other trick, the secret hack is to look in the comments section. And a lot of time people will either ask questions or they'll ask, could you make a video on this topic? So the comment section on YouTube, we've actually found to be very valuable for content ideas.
So give them what they want. I'm gonna write that one down, Carl. We'll talk about this later.
How come nobody ever mentioned this before?
Very interesting thought.
See, we give them what they need. That's not what they want. Give them what they want, not what they need. Yeah.
And to be honest, when we first started doing video, we didn't really understand that. We just thought like, hey, what do we know about? What could we talk about? Or what happened this week that could make a video?
What do we think they should know? No. Yeah.
That's how we started. But then at a certain point, like I started to get more into YouTube and I started to wake up to the fact that YouTube is a search engine and that you can find out what people are searching on YouTube. And then you make those videos and those videos perform better than whatever it was we thought they should know. So now whenever we're looking for a topic, we are making sure we're using sources like answerthepublic.com, or we are going to YouTube, seeing what auto populates when you type in the search bar. We're using TubeBuddy and vidIQ both to score the titles and look at the keywords. So we don't just rely on one. I want to know what both of them have to say when it comes to keywords.
So breaking this down, the first thing is having the content you make geared towards the audience that's watching it. So for consumers, speak to consumers. For realtors, speak to realtors. And you have 2 different channels. So if you don't want to have 2 different channels, what I always recommend is create a separate playlist. I just went through this with an individual who does a lot of VA, and he has a great YouTube channel. I went and looked at his YouTube channel. He said, what can I do to improve it? And I said, make playlists. So if you don't want to have 2 completely separate channels, like what Kelly has to manage, and she has a Chey, Everybody would love to have a Chey. Shay's amazing. But if you don't have a Chey, you can do one YouTube channel. You just want to make different playlists. And in the playlist, there's a way on YouTube for you to actually have those be stagnant. So when someone goes to your YouTube channel, those are the playlists that show in that order. And so, and those are little just hacks to do. So make the video, speak to your audience, make sure that they are directed. And the other thing, and Chey, you talked about this when you and I had a call, I think last week or the week before, and it went into the thought process of video and the YouTube channel and having it be part of your long-term marketing plan. I mean, it's not a matter of the goal's not to get, to be the next, big icon influencer on YouTube. It is to be able to have a place to put the videos and then have a place to share those videos as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we just started YouTube as our video library. I mean, we didn't even really understand the power of YouTube when we first got started. So having that library there, I mean, that's really where you're going to get all the leverage and you're going to drive all that traffic by having that link. I mean, once you get it up on YouTube and you have that link, then you have all kinds of share possibilities. Even if it's just, something as simple. Our team does this all the time where they're talking to a client on the phone and maybe they're explaining debt to income ratio or something like that. And they'll kind of talk them through it, but they say, you know what, when we get off the phone, I'm going to text you the video and the video is going to go deeper on this subject. So we find just even it improves the communication with clients by just having this library with these quick links to send the video. Because remember, when you're posting on Facebook and Instagram, that's a scrolling feed. People aren't going to your profile and trying to go like, oh, is there a video on, conventional loans? Like they're not going through all that to see if you have a video on that. But that's not the case with YouTube. YouTube is a search engine. Remember, it's owned by Google. So when people go to YouTube and they want to learn about conventional loans, they're going to type that up in the search and your video is going to come up. People are actively searching on YouTube. They are not actively searching on Facebook and Instagram. That's scrolling feed. That's more entertainment based. That's like, hey, if I feel like looking at your video today, I might, if it's got a compelling enough, cover or topic, but otherwise they're just scrolling by. People on YouTube are actively searching for topics. So you want to make videos on those topics.
Mm-hmm.
So do you ever do any like Facebook Live videos or YouTube Live videos or anything like that?
Well, we're doing a Facebook Live now, right?
We are. Do you do that? Because you started the video, so the real estate video influencer. So, and we'll unpack that in a minute. But, for some people, it's like, okay, I feel like I need to do something live and be able to get onto, social media for that. Have you felt compelled to do that?
We haven't done a lot of it. We've done some of it, but I will tell you, we are planning to do more of it. So stay tuned. We are actually looking at StreamYard. Been hearing a lot of good things about StreamYard, and we have been looking at doing that so that we can go live to all the platforms simultaneously. So that's coming up soon.
Good. Well, and that's the thing. I think always you have to always be looking at what's the next thing,
right?
TikTok and the short videos did not give it a lot of merit, but it has been growing. And I think, Carl, you had shared in one of our episodes that TikTok had surpassed some of the searches that were going with YouTube, and TikTok is constantly changing. And so you have to constantly be looking at those different things and be open to those.
TikTok now has more time spent on it than any other website in the world. It's the number one time spent website. It gets more minutes of people there than any other website in the world.
Have you ever done it?
I've never been on TikTok.
You
Now,
know, dude, I've done it. It's like, to me, I tell you what, it was like the most annoying thing I'd ever experienced in my life. Like, I don't get it. But hey, I'm a 60-year-old guy.
yeah, we're
You know,
old
so
farts, right?
I don't get it, but I watch my wife and she'll sit there on it and she'll just flip through, and it'll literally consume 45 minutes of her time just sitting there looking at, in all honesty, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like nothing of any value
But you have to
whatsoever.
understand, Frank, that your wife
Less than value. Like, it'll actually make you,
but see,
not
your
very
wife-
smart in most cases for 45 minutes.
See, your wife and my wife would say the same thing about our ham radio. So Frank and I are both ham radio operators.
That's different.
That's different. Yeah, that's
So,
different.
we've now identified they are not the target market.
I'm
But you
not.
bring something interesting because, and Danny Ruiz we've had on the call before, and he jumped to TikTok last November.
Yeah.
And predominantly so, over 67% female. His is a Hispanic market because he does all of his in Spanish, all of his videos in Spanish. And so for him, it definitely works. And the philosophy, my reasoning is, and probably, your wife is a little different as far as going there, but it's like, I got my first Facebook account in 2008 because my son had a Facebook account. And like any good mother, I'm going to stalk him, right? I think the same thing's happening with TikTok. And so I think a lot of moms are getting on it. And so, then that's increasing it.
Yeah. And I gotta clarify. I am not by any means saying it's not a valuable tool in the business. I'm quite sure it is for the people that know how to make use of it and find their place in it. I'm just, for me personally, I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's like, this is killing me.
Yeah.
But I know it's a big tool.
I was the same way. And when Danny got into it, Danny, I don't think it's going to give you what you want, but he's made it work for him. And so I think that's the thing. And Chey, you'll say that for anyone, and you probably know, because you just got into shorts in June.
Yep.
And so obviously looking at
doing
trends,
TikTok.
and you do a lot of there, and you do a lot of measurements and analytics and things like that. So what do you consider a success? Like, you're going to say, okay, we're going to try this. How long do you try it? Do you say, okay, we're going to do this for this long, we're going to commit to it, and these are the results we want?
Well, we just started in June with the shorts. And so we said, okay, for the next 90 days, we're just going to go all in on shorts, and we're going to post a minimum of 1 short every day, 2 if we have time. And so we just made a commitment to do that, to see, did it grow our following? So that's the first thing that we're measuring, is, did it grow our following? Then what we're measuring is, and we're still doing this, so we're going to look at the next 90 days. So we're coming up on our 90 days pretty soon, and then we're really going to go deep on the metrics. But some videos we have shorts or reels, and we do it where we post it as, we do 1 short form video, 59 seconds or less, and then we post that same video to YouTube, Reels, and TikTok. But we don't do the same ones at the same time. So it's a rotation. So it doesn't look like, if you popped in on one day, you wouldn't see the same short on every single platform, but they're all there. They're just in a rotation. So we said that we're going to do that. Now, some shorts, they have 4,000 views, and then some have 40. And so when I get down to the end of my 90 days, I'm going to start looking at patterns. Okay, the videos that performed less than 100 views, what did they all have in common? And the videos that performed in the thousands of views, what did they have in common? What time were they posted? How long were they? What kind of graphics did they have? Were they the pre-recorded ones that we took from the long form videos, or were the ones we did off the cuff? So we'll start looking and trying to find common denominators to really, define why a video would perform better in terms of views. But ultimately, I try to tell people not to get too wrapped up in views, because really what we want is loans, right?
Exactly.
We do loans.
And that's the most important thing. Right. So you can have a very popular video, but if it's not converting to anything, and the other thing that, and obviously with your marketing background, sometimes it takes that first video on top of the second video on top of the third video before you get to the loan. So, it's hard to look at it. I like the idea as far as looking at certain ones, maybe they weren't the most views, but did it lead to something else? So, at the end of the day, did it result in the application?
For me, Ginger, I can tell you the thing that's moved the needle for me the most on video is that when I go to the Realtors Association, when a letter of pre-approval is sent by me to the listing agent, and when they go, "Oh, I know this guy," that is a very, very, very powerful thing. And I don't even know how you measure, because sometimes like on the videos, and I'm like you, it's like, all right, where's the result? Where's the result? Where's the result? And Frank, I'm sure with all the stuff you've done, it's the same thing as Chey and Ginger, frankly, all of us here, is that when people know who you are, it opens doors. It's like you get the best seat in the restaurant, figuratively speaking, of course, and sometimes literally.
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, sometimes literally, but it's a game changer when you call somebody and they know who you are already. It's a game changer.
Well, and it creates that. It's funny because we actually, the opening of the call, when Chey hopped on and I introduced, I said, "Chey, do you know Frank?" And she says, "No, but I feel like I do."
Great point.
I do. It's great. And it really, that has been a huge game changer for us. It really eases the selling process, right? Because people have already vetted you. They've already engaged with you. They feel like they know you. And, one of Kelly's favorite things, and she's really good about letting me know whenever this happens, is when she says, "I just got off the phone with either a realtor or a client, and they brought up the YouTube channel, or they brought up, 'Oh, I watched your video on not paying off collections, before I talked to the loan officer.'" And it happens all the time. And it's still the thing that I think, we get the most joy out of, because that's how I really know it's working, right?
Yeah.
Is when people say, "Oh, Kelly from YouTube."
Yeah.
Okay, I did my job.
Right.
Kelly from YouTube, right?
Yeah. So we'll share. So we've got, so the Mortgage How Do I is your YouTube channel for consumers.
Yep.
And then the YouTube channel for real estate agents is what?
KellyOnYouTube.com.
Oh, it's Kelly on YouTube. Kelly with a Y.
Kelly with a Y, KELLY on YouTube.com. And, I encourage the mortgage loan officers who are on this call to also check out that channel, subscribe to both channels, of course,
Exactly.
please, but swipe and adapt, see what are the subjects that we're making videos about. Like, we're searching and finding out what topics are, trending, and what topics are scoring well with the keyword research. And so, obviously you wouldn't want to copy the exact words Kelly says, but on the topic, make a video on that same topic in your own words. And that's a great source for content ideas.
Exactly. So if I'm understanding, if I change one word, it's
You get an idea.
Oh my gosh.
Well, just like musicians make cover songs, right? So
there you go.
Very good. I love it. Well, I want to thank you so much. We are at the top of the hour, and Chey, we're definitely going to have you back on again, because there's so many things. You talk about, I watched your video the other day for real estate agents on how to do Canva, how to do thumbnails. So just unpacking some of those pieces. I always love getting that creativity of what you think and bringing that in, because it helps us, because most everyone's in the world of, we're into mortgages. And so having that insight on the outside is so important. So I want to thank you so much. And of course, we look forward to having Kelly on in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So we'll get to hear her side of the story and share
Right?
how wonderful you are.
Thank you so much. I
Okay.
really appreciate you having me on. It was so much fun.
Awesome. Thank you. And next week, guys, we'll have Marshall Sparkman. He's a VA loan specialist. And so we're going to talk about the videos that he does around VA. So we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.
See y'all later.
Thanks,
Okay,
Cynthia.
bye.